Hi, and thanks for tuning in to Peppermint Juju. I'm Brooke, and my personal channel is Thriving Vine, and I thank you so much for being here. This week's word is dream or dreams. Dreams, in my view, take place both in a sleep state and in a non-sleep state. In a non-sleep state, these are our wishes, our wants, our aspirations, and we diligently work often to try to achieve them. But the dreams that take place in a sleep state, often people can misconstrue that every single dream is a premonition. So I thought I would go over some precognitive dreams of some well-known people, if you will. Marie Antoinette, overthrown and imprisoned by the French revolutionaries, had a dream of a glowing red sun rising above a column like a temple pillar. Suddenly the column cracked in half and fell to the ground. Her image has been understood to represent the fall of a powerful figure. Charles Dickens had a dream in which he saw a lady with a red shawl with her back towards him. When she turned around to introduce herself with the words, "I am Miss Napier." Dickens had no idea who this person was, but the very next night, after giving one of his famous readings, some friends came backstage, bringing with them a woman who introduced herself as Miss Napier. Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his own violent death and his body lying in state of, I have a hard time pronouncing this word, but catafalque, and that's the platform, if you will, that a coffin is laid on top of and decorated beautifully. Hitler. Adolf Hitler had a most extraordinary dream as a young man during the First World War. He was a member of the German infantry and found himself in the trenches on the French front. One night he dreamed of being buried beneath an avalanche of earth and molten iron and of being severely wounded. He woke up and felt compelled to leave the trench in spite of warnings from his comrades. No sooner had he started to scramble away from this dugout than a fearful explosion thudded behind him. Hitler turned back to see the trench completely collapsed and all the soldiers dying underneath the mass of earth and hot metal. It had been said that this event encouraged Hitler to believe that he could not fail in his plan to dominate Europe. Nowadays, a large part of dream research is directed into the area of dreams which foresee. Sometimes, of course, it can be argued that they are merely another version of wish-fulfilling or problem-solving dreams. Both Marie Antoinette's and Abraham Lincoln's could be seen that way, but definitely not Hitler's. And so I use those three examples to illustrate to you that not every dream that we dream is necessarily a premonition. Sometimes in our dreams we are having intuitive moments, if you will. But there are other times that we are simply processing things in ways that make sense to us, in ways that we can understand. For example, if you were to fall asleep in an uncomfortable position in which, let's say, your right arm is twisted or, just not comfortable, you may have a dream about something to do with your right arm not being comfortable. Perhaps it becomes injured, perhaps it becomes amputated, etc., etc. And that is your body's way that while you're in a dream state to kind of clue you in, like, buddy, something is wrong here, and encourage you to then switch positions or move or wake up so that you're not continuing to cause yourself pain. So what does that mean to us in a magical community where we always seem to be looking for signs? I would caution every single person out there to not always think that every dream is a sign, and to understand that time in a dream state does not directly translate to time in a waking state. One can dream for a matter of minutes, and it can seem like you're dreaming for the whole night once you've awoken. When in reality, it has been found that we actually dream in snippets, small bursts of vivid imagery throughout the night, and that feels like we're dreaming the whole night. Pardon me, but that's not necessarily the case. For if we did dream in such vividity for the whole night, we would not wake up feeling rested. And so that's something to note, that time is not directly translated from sleep dreaming to wakeful hours. That being said, there are also dreams in primitive cultures. So the Sioux Indians, for example, suggest that perhaps they have a better way of living than we do ourselves. The North American Sioux Indians, for example, dealt very kindly with misfits of their society. They somehow fitted them in instead of shutting them away in a kind of institution. They did not regard the criminal, the insane, or inadequate as shamefully stupid, but they put all the blame on evil spirits who had affected the dream world of these poor people and treated them as best that they could. So that's something that's very interesting to note, that often there's different people that we come across in our world and in our magical community. And I think it's important to take a lesson from the Sioux Indians, in that sometimes people just don't process the stimuli, life around them, the same way that we do. So people that we may view as misfits, or criminals, or whatever the case may be, it could simply be that they are not processing things in the same way that many people do. What else can I say about dreams? Yes. So there are many dream dictionaries out there where you can look up the hidden meaning of this imagery and that imagery, but I would really caution you in doing that. Often you'll get images in your dreams, but again, like I displayed with Marie Antoinette and Abraham Lincoln, and then with Hitler and also Charles Dickens, not every one of those dreams is going to be a premonition, an intuition, if you will. I think it's really important, before we put stake in that what we are dreaming is a direct translated premonition, or an intuition that can be looked up in things like a dream dictionary, that we have truly connected with the divine, and that they are guiding our dreams. There's something very different between seeing a sign because you want to see a sign, and having a sign given to you by the divine. And it's the signs that are given to us by the divine that can be intuitive moments of divination, and so on and so forth. But it's those sort of random snippets that people often attempt to ascribe meaning to, trying to make sense of their dreams. So that being said, I am somebody who I've had a very thick past. I've been through a lot in my very short life thus far, and I do suffer from very vivid, often violent dreams. These dreams are very real to me when I am experiencing them. I will thrash around in bed. I will wake up screaming. they're not so wonderful. Let's just say it like that. And this is something that I, have been working through for a great many years. Often these dreams are replaying of things that I have been through in my past, or fears of some of those events repeating in my present. But it's important that when I come out of this state, this state of, nightmare, bad dreaming, whatever you want to call it, that I take some time when I come out of it. And my husband is so helpful in this, because we have a little, routine now. When I've had a very vivid, violent dream, is that you ensure that you come out of a total sleep state. So things like having a drink of water when you're waking up, sitting on the edge of the bed, having a very light snack is also a way to sort of reground yourself. I also keep some crystals beside my bed. And, I'll get into that in my personal channel at some point, as to how I do some of my sleep and dream work and use my dreams for healing purposes. But yeah, so having that routine so you're able to come out and reground yourself, and take 5-10 minutes to do that. Yes, that may cause you to completely awake, and you may have a hard time going back to sleep after that. But as you continue to do what I call sleep hygiene, you will notice a marked decrease in your negative dreams, in your dreams that cause you alarm, panic, anxiety, and you will find that not only is there a decrease, but there's also a decrease in intensity. And when they do come, they may come fast and furious, but you are then learning and have the tools to bring yourself out of that, and just reground yourself and allow those emotions that took place in the dream to evaporate away, sort of like the first morning dew when the sun rises. So practice some sleep hygiene, develop a routine. If you're a little bit groggy when you wake up, write it down. If you have a partner, discuss your plan with them. If you're somebody like me who does have those very vivid, violent dreams, having a dream plan, if you will, is no different than having a fire escape plan for your household. And that's things that, at least when we were younger, a lot of people don't do it now. I know I still do it, but I've got a plan of where to get out. If there's a fire in my house, where we're going to get out, where we're going to meet up, what we're going to do. I have those plans now. I've had those plans, for myself. I have those plans for my children, for my husband. But sharing what that plan is with, whether it be your partner or a trusted friend that you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning if you have had just a crazy vivid dream and you just need somebody to talk it out. Because if you're not processing this in your waking life, you're going to continue to process it in your dream life. So that is all I can fit into my slot this week on Peppermint Juju. So if you have any thoughts on dreams, I would love to see a video response, as would everybody on the Peppermint Juju team. You can post it on any one of our videos for this week. If you have comments about the word dream and what it means to you in your practice, we would also love to hear that. Once again, we thank you so much for tuning into Peppermint Juju. Be blessed and be beautiful and make it a magical day. Bye, lovelies.